Welcome to Right Side Trading, where you can learn how to trade on the right side with confidence. Today is May 14, 2016, and we will be going through the weekly market review. But before we do that, let's go ahead and take care of the legal stuff, which states, and let me take you to that page. And this is the area I want to highlight, and that is our products and services are provided solely for educational purposes only. Our written and verbal statements, including those provided on our websites by our staff members, testimonial individuals, affiliates, and clients, are personal judgments and should be regarded as such. These written and verbal statements do not constitute investment advice. The government wants us to let you know that we are not licensed financial advisors, and so before you make any investment or trading decisions, please make sure you seek out the advice of a competent and licensed financial advisors. We are just simply people who look at charts and give our opinions on what we think. All right. That being said, okay, so check out our website for information. Let's go to the charts for this week. And what I am showing you here is, again, the chart of the SPX. We had a pretty down week this week. We had this bullish signal that was showing us that the market is ready to go up. We're pretty excited about it. Got in right around here. Was up by the end of the day. This was on Tuesday. Felt, after seeing this, we thought, okay, yes, this market should keep on going higher. However, the market decided to do something different. It showed us a reversal signal, which kind of concerned us. That Wednesday, we waited to see whether this was going to be false or whether it's going to have a continuation. And it did. And so Friday, we had to close out our trade for a loss. Okay, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, but this is real life, real money, and in this case, this week we took a loss. All right, so we bag that away and get ready for the next week. So what should we be expecting to come in this next week? Here are some things that, after what happened this past week, reassessing everything. We had to take a look and see what's going on. All right. So I want to point your attention to a few things that makes us look at this market just slightly different. The first thing is, are we in a bear market or not? Okay. Technically, again, until we clear out a certain level, which is this high set back in May of last year, we are technically still in a bear market. However, we are very bullish on our trades, and so even though we've had these last 2-3 weeks being bearish, we see that as a pullback more so than anything else. And in particular, one of the things that we see forming now is consolidation. Okay, consolidation. And what does that mean? Basically, it's a period of time where a market rests, because as we can see, the market made a significant move from down here. Let's do this. From down here all the way up here. That was a pretty significant move that the market made. All right, and so I think since then we've been having the market kind of pull back. And so the question is this the beginning of another downtrend like how we had right here, where the market came all the way back down here, or something like this one right here, where the market came all the way back down over there? Is that what we're dealing with or not? And so time will tell, but here are some of the things that we are looking at to prepare ourselves. If I was to zoom in just a little bit, one of the first things that I see is, if I was to go, say, draw a line right there and say right there, okay, that gives me a zone. All right, and what that does is, like, I'm pretty much just taking in the bottom of this, and taking the bottom of this, as well as this one right here, which is all support areas that the market bounced. Okay, so rather than drawing just one line, I draw two lines, because we can see that the stock dipped below one of those lines. In this case, it touched it right on it and bounced off. In this case, it touched it and bounced right back off. Okay, could we take this line and drag it all the way down here? Yes, we could. It just makes it a bigger range. That's all that is. Okay, but the key point is, this is the area of support where we truly believe that if the price of the market goes below this area and closes below this area, we can start looking at a new bearish market. Now, some people would like to say, oh, this is a head and shoulders pattern, meaning that you have this area as a shoulder, this area as a head, and then this area as the right shoulder. Okay, so this would be the left shoulder, the head, the right shoulder, and then anything breaking below here would tell us that the market is going further down. So that's something you want to be looking into. However, we see something a little bit different as well. Okay, and what it is I am looking at a potential consolidation range taking place, because if I draw this line right here, we can see that the market is, it came down to this, bounced back up over here, and now it's coming back down here. So next week will kind of give us an idea of whether or not we truly are in a base. If I was to take this whole period right here from the time the market made this high up here to this whole period right here, okay, this whole period can be considered a basin period, okay? And all we had was a market rally up to this line, come back down to this line, rally up here. So this is our area of resistance, and this is our area of support. So what should we be looking for? Well, we should either be looking for a break down to the bottom or a breakout to the top. If we have a breakdown to the bottom, then the bears are back in, ready to take this market further down. If it breaks out above here, the bulls are still in place, then this is just a consolidation ready to go higher. And in most cases, when you see a consolidation in a bullish market, what you'll see is the market rallies, takes a break. Let me draw this one a little bit better. Activate this. Takes a break, okay, before it makes its next move up higher, okay? And that could possibly be what we are looking at right now, where the market went up from here to there, and then now is going kind of like, so let me rephrase that. In some cases, what you will see is the market does something like this and then goes back up like that, okay? This is just a pullback. So this could be that pullback that we're looking at before the market makes its next move up higher, all right? Now, there are other things that we see using indicators and stuff like that. It kind of also substantiates this information, which we teach in our courses. But again, it's just one of those things that for now, that is what we're looking at, is a market that is pulling back, maybe might go as low as this level right here before it goes back up again. But all the evidences that we see are pointing to the fact that this is not necessarily a reversal that could take this all the way down, but more so than a pullback. Now, the market can do whatever it wants, and so if it does change at that point in time, we'll also see that on the indicators that we use and more information and data that we look at, and that would tell us what is going on at that point in time, and then we make our decision based on that. But for now, it is hard to tell. It's hard to say that this is a bear market just yet, because we have to deal with what is in front of us right now, which is the consolidation, okay? Now, until that consolidation is either confirmed as a true consolidation, or confirmed as not a consolidation, we literally have to wait until that takes place, okay? So whether you want to sit on the sidelines or trade cautiously with minimizing the exposure of your positions, those are the things that you have to consider while we're doing this, okay? You don't want to be too eager to try to jump into positions just because you have to trade. You need to make sure that you know exactly what is taking place before you make any decisions, and cut your losses quickly if trade is not going the way that you want it to go. So that being, and maybe just a pullback before the market rallies back up. If we are wrong, we will see that when that takes place after the consolidation has been defined, and then we'll make adjustments accordingly, okay? So that is something that we want to point out. Here's something else that I want to show you. If we go to the weekly chart, I have been saying since about 3 weeks ago that one of my concerns was when the market reached this top right here, that one of the things you'll notice is we had this low right here was the lowest point that we had before we had the next low, which was higher, and then the next low, which was higher right there, the next low, which was higher right there, then we had a higher low and a higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low, higher low. And about 2, 3 weeks ago, we said this was the first time when this week took place that that we had our first lower high. Okay, I mean lower low. Sorry, I'm sorry, lower low. So we had higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, all the way up to here. And then 2, 3 weeks ago, we had a lower high, and I said that poses a problem. Okay, question then becomes whether or not this market is going to reverse or is it just pulling back. Now, on the downside, just as we were looking at the lower highs, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. When the market is going down, we start looking at the top and we look for lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. Okay, so in this case, we had a lower high than the previous high, and we had a lower low than the previous low. So that kind of gave us a cause for concern. And as we can see, the market has been following through. So then we had this one. The week after that was another lower high as well as another lower low. Okay, so that kind of told us, yep, this is definitely going to the downside. However, notice what happened this week with all the, shake up that we had. We had, instead of a lower low and a lower high, we had see that? This low right here was higher than this low down here, and this high right here is higher than this high right here. So that kind of twists things just a little bit and lets us know, saying, hey, just hold on a second. Don't get too excited about this market going down because we have this to deal with. All right. Now we'll have to wait to the end of next week to see what happens. But what I can say is this, all right? My alert will be set somewhere around here at this low of this candle right here on the weekly chart. If price should dip below that, okay, and if we go to, let me see, this is the low. Oh, right here, and that is 2043.13, 43.13. Okay, so 2043.13. So if we go to the daily chart, and I'm looking at this, I want to find out where 2043.13 is located. 2043.13, somewhere around here. Okay, so let me actually just do this. We will go here, 2043.13. Okay. All right. Let's make this. Let's go here. Make it a little bit thinner. Okay. So 2043.13. Actually, you know what? Let me make this 2043.12. Let's see. 2043.12. Okay. All right. So I'm looking at this and I say if the market should go below this line right here, I want to be alerted. So let me put my alert on this. Let's go here. We go to alert. And we want it to be 2043.12. Why 12? Because that means that if it goes below 13 and hits if this 12 gets triggered, that means that it's already gone 1 cent below that low and now has formed a lower low based on the weekly chart. I hope I'm not confusing you guys. Okay, so if this goes lower, then the odds of the market going lower is still in place. If it doesn't, then the odds of the market going higher is what we have to be looking at. Okay, so that is the range that we're looking at. That's the number that I'm looking at for this week coming up. That if it goes below 2043.13, let me make sure that's the number again, 2043.13, then the bear market is still in place, in progress, and we have to be careful about that. However, if it goes above that, if it stays above that, then the bull market might actually be in place, and we can be looking for maybe the market to go higher. Okay, if I go to the monthly chart, and let me erase all my drawings on this so I can have a clean sheet. Okay, if we go to the monthly chart, all right, and I look at the monthly chart, as you can see, we've had higher lows as well, and so I would like to see this line right here get taken out before I can really say we are back into a bear market. Okay, if the market does not go below here and instead stays above it, then we're looking at a market that's going bullish. But if this line should get violated, okay, or this line gets violated, okay. Okay, so this line is based on the weekly chart. If this line gets violated, we have a problem. If this line gets violated, then I say month to month we should be looking at this market to go even further down. Okay, but until then we just have to hold off and see what takes place. Right now, we are not in any positions as far as trying to go bullish or bearish is concerned. We just wait to see what happens, and then we would make a decision. Now, we do have some other stocks that we're already in prior to making decisions based on what we saw last week that we are still in, and those ones are still telling us to stay where we are. So we are just staying exactly where we are with those. But as far as putting on new positions is concerned, we are waiting to see what happens with this market to make any decision. It's too early to call for a bear market and start shorting, putting on new positions to short the market. And at the same time, nothing that shows us that we should start going bullish on it just yet. So for that reason, we hold off, wait to see what happens this week before we can make any decision as to whether we want to go bullish or bearish. So I hope that helps you guys out. Again, check out our website for more information. You can go to our blogs, you can go to our courses, you can sign up for a private mentorship, so you can really learn how to see this. I have to tell you, this is not something that that you cannot learn how to see for yourself. Okay, so check it out. If you have any questions, contact us by submitting an email right here, or go to info@rightsideTrading.com and let us know if you have any comments, thoughts, questions. And I hope that you guys would trade confidently. And like we always say, as our closing out statement, trade on the right side with confidence. Goodbye.